Hey, what's up guys? Today it's all about this guy right here, Silver Spike and Smokey, the gold finding, silver finding cat. They sent me this always and forever. So we'll see what ends up coming out of this. This is all very fine, very crushed. It's gonna be super powdery. I'm gonna need to get it wet immediately. But we're gonna run the Royal Miller table, show you guys a couple things I do with that, and maybe some of the angles that I use. This stuff here has no gold guarantee, so it's just one of those, but hey, I appreciate it, I don't care. Anybody sends me anything, I'm gonna run it and see what it's all about. It's about gaining experience of different types of material anyway, so even if there's not much, that's fine with us around here. Let me get the Miller table all set up and all of that stuff done, and you and I will be back here in a sec. Here is this stuff. We're gonna get this cut open. I probably should be doing this outside, to be honest with you. So anything that gets kicked up won't go airborne here in my little room. I guess I could pour some water. This stuff is gonna trash my water. That's the only bad thing when it comes to this crushed ore. Oh, it's got a little sticker inside the bag at the very bottom. So there's that stuff. We'll clean this bag out here in a second. We'll get to stirring this stuff around some. Just found a pretty good sized rock in there. There's another one right here. Or maybe these are just, that's a little sample of what the ore looks like. So that's pretty cool. We'll have to get that put aside. We can take a look at that here in a little bit. We'll throw it up over there. I felt a couple in here. We're gonna let this soak. Found that penny. He threw a wheat penny in here too. So there's all kinds of cool stuff we are finding. Once we get to running this, get this mixed around a little bit, we're gonna go throw this off to the side. I got my level up here. It is completely level this way. Then I'll always come and bring my level over here. Today I am barely running at any angle whatsoever. Only about a 1/4 of an inch drop from where the water comes out to where it spills out the tail end. We're gonna try today at a 1/4 inch slope across that 14 inches. It just all depends on what this material looks like. If it is very, very, very dense, well then sometimes I can even go to a 1/2 inch slope from the beginning to the end, because it just takes longer, far more dense, so you kind of need more slope. There is always water speed that you can tinker around with too. Raise the water speed, watch the material. Part of prospecting is like, there's kind of always 3 components to running material with equipment. Slope, water speed, or air speed if it's a dry washer, and material. Some is sandy, beachy loam that rolls right off and you need less slope. As it stands now, we don't know what kind this is, so we just got to do a little practice run, see how it goes. I'll get that fired up. For now, we need to get this pump going. Like to put that little piece of cardboard there. It keeps from splashing onto the stuff that's over this way. You always want to get in here and brush off the table, get any little debris or anything that was on here. There might be little micro air bubbles. Micro air bubbles will make things skip across the top of it. You never want to do that. Down in there's my pump. There's my little catch tray. I need to move it. It's kind of moved out of position. It kind of likes to float around a little bit, but it needs to be scooted all the way back to this wall over here. Got more than enough soap in there. Got these little clamps that hold up my wires so my pump doesn't sit all the way down on the bottom and pick up silt and whatnot. Today I'm using this speed controller. It's dual speed. This is more of a low function. This is the high function. I have it turned damn near all the way up. This thing didn't cost very much. I think about $5 or $6, but I did have to make the wires for it. Of course, it's getting its power from this computer charger that I bought. 12 volt, 5 amps is what that bilge pump down there uses and needs to run properly. This looks like pretty good water flow. That's kind of lower than what I like. Sometimes I have it coming off a little bit faster. We'll see how this speed works with the material. I did say I had this jacked up all the way to high. That's the fastest the water flow will go. I don't know. We may have to change over to something else. For now, it's time to get the Smokey and Spike party started. Get to dropping in some materials, see what the stuff looks like. If any big old clunkers of gold or something interesting pops up, I'll bring you guys back. Remember how I was telling you guys we may have to tinker around with some settings? Well, I'm having a heck of a time today. I had to take the power off of that computer cord. I swapped over to one of my regular batteries. It didn't seem to be giving me the power that I needed for a good water speed. I showed you how I had it all the way up. It just really wasn't coming out. I think something's funky there. I've run a few spoons already, doing some test runs. This stuff is not playing well. It's very heavy, dense, sticking to the table. I started off at a quarter slope. I'm gonna move it now down to 3/8 of a slope, see if I can get this stuff to wash off faster. It's just taking forever to wash off. Now that I've moved it to the battery, I can bump up the speed a little bit, get a little bit faster water flow, a little bit more slope. Then I think that's gonna work better. We can chew through stuff even faster. Any gold pops up or anything interesting, I'll bring you back. Bumped it up a little bit, higher speed. This stuff fell off a lot quicker. From here to here, we're sitting at about 3/8 of an inch now. We'll drop some more in, see what we think about it. Moving a heck of a lot quicker. Here's some more ore that he dumped in here. Get that stuff washed off. Good looking piece, if I say so myself. We're gonna find anything we find, we're gonna throw it over here in this little pan. Let this stuff all run off. These tails will start to form. They've already exchanged up here. You can see all of the material exchanging right here. When you watch Royal Manufacturing's video that he put out, he talks about how you can come in here and manipulate the material by dropping water over here at the end of this. And that'll get the stuff to moving again. You're not really supposed to come up here and do it up on the front. If you come up, do it on the front, it disturbs the water to where the gold will roll down. But if you do it from behind, that's the way he says you're supposed to do it on his table. And I agree with him. Sometimes I'll come around like this, wash it all around, just get it moving again. Just like material in the bottom of a bucket, sometimes it just cements itself down to the bottom. Does the same thing here. It'll cement itself on the table. Looking for some gold, haven't found much yet, but that's all right. What do we have here? And there. He's got all kinds of good little stuff in here. That looks like a dime, yep. Nice looking garnet right there. This is a silver dime, I can guarantee. Look at that luster. It says 1956. Wow, that's cool. Get in here and remove everything from the bottom half of the table, everything over here and down. You pretty much are pretty safe that you can come in and just help that off the table like that. I'm gonna get back after it, bring you guys back here in a little bit. Have been making runs, finding all kinds of cool stuff, even gems he threw in here that have all the little cuts, but look at that big chunker right there. That's some silver, there's some silver. That dime is silver, and what is that? Holy moly, look at that big old chunk. Another big chunk of silver. That is some beautiful stuff. We're gonna throw it in there, but back at it and we'll see what else we find in here. Here we are at the bitter end. This is the last of the material. I've got the water just blasting through here. This is what we ended up, and I lost one piece. It flew out of there. I'm gonna have to try to go find it. I'll show you guys this stuff here in a little bit. But this was a fun time. We'll get the silver. We'll go throw it on the scale here in a second. After all of this finishes up cleaning up. I didn't find any gold in here, silver spike. That's okay. I mean, what do you figure for just a small, tiny bag? You may need 10, 20 pounds to find some kind of values, and I just got this little one, but I'm happy. We're good. I'll get all finished up here, and we'll be over there. Here's all the good stuff we found. And all of these wonderful people all over my table here. It is all about Mr. Silver Spike. And Smokey sitting right there. Let me grab the silver out of here. There was one bigger piece. So what we'll do is we'll throw that on the scale and see what we find. Earlier I said I thought there was I don't remember what I said. You know, there might be 3 or 4 grams in here. So that big piece, 1.18. Next bigger piece, 1.669 looks like. There's that chunker, 2.1. Last but not least, 2.46. So 2.5 grams of some really good looking silver. It's almost like native stuff. Hasn't been processed or anything like that. So I'll be throwing that off into my silver vial, and all these little gemstones, we're going to put those up somewhere else too. But appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a good week. Everybody take care out there. We will see you next week. We'll be back to some prospecting somewhere, doing something. Have a good day. Goldpan Suntan is out.